Hello friends, let's learn about object add functions, the various functions which are inbuilt provided by the information design tool and how we can utilize that functions. So we will be understanding this in this video, what are different functions which are available and what are the advantages of that. There are different functions that we can use. So first one is let's see what is object add function. So add functions are special functions that provide more flexible methods for specifying query script for an object. So it is a special function that we have. There are different like select, where, variable, aggregate aware is the function. So this is the list of the functions. The first one is aggregate aware. So it directs an object to first query all the aggregate tables is listed as parameters. So in the aggregate aware function, we will list some of the tables which we should process first, so that it will improve the query performance. So that is the aggregate aware. Derived table, we can use a derived table function just to reference a separate derived table. Execute function, so it references a list of values. Prompt, it prompts the user to enter value each time the object using the add prompt function included in the query. And select, add select function use enabled to the select statement of another object. So we will see in this detail in each and every objects in theory and in practically as well. At variable, so these are the most of related to the BO system variables like BO user, DB user, like universe ID, universe name, then locale, what is preferred viewing locale, then data provider type, name, document name. So these are the different variables available, so that we can reference this variable by using at variable function. Then there is at where function as well, so which will enable to use the where clause of another objects. So it is just a reusing of the code. Okay, coming to the applying aggregate awareness optimization method means aggregate awareness is a term that describes the ability of the business layer to make the use of aggregate tables in the database. So it is a process, aggregate awareness, which will have the ability of the business layer to make use of, and this is again it speeds up the execution of the query and it improves the performance of SQL. So it's very powerful capability, we can say, in information design tool, which will be used. So this is aggregate aware, and description is like it incorporates columns containing aggregated and dimensions data in the objects. So it is usually used in a select statement. So we will see means how it is. So some of the database contains summary tables. So what is summary tables? Summary tables is nothing but it will have hold the values like annual cost, annual sales revenue, annual sale number, annual rent value, like that. So why these tables are there in the database? Because the these tables will hold these values which can directly be retrieved from the query. Because if you want to process annual sales value by using different tables, it will take time, which will cost the performance. So uh, so that for that purpose, in the database or the data warehouse, we can say we have these summary tables. So which will hold this value. So based on the fact table or event level table, by performing by processing different calculation, it takes time. So that's why we need summary tables. So annual figures is one of the summary tables which we can say. So we need to make utilize of these summary tables. So let's say this is an example. We have three tables. Cell is having 226 rows. Cell model is having 233 rows, and model is having 33 rows. So when suppose we wanted to perform sum of cell model, this is a sales revenue which we wanted to calculate. If we go by this formula, it will take time to calculate the data. So this is without aggregation. So now if we apply the aggregation with the summary table, how it will be? Sum of annual figures dot annual sales revenue. So this is the this will just return 26 rows, which is just needed after calculating. So that will give this data. And these are the some what are the advantages? It is fewer rows to process, and it is fewer joins if any joins are involved. So that is the advantages of aggregate awareness. So now aggregate awareness process, how we can apply in the information design tool. So first step is we need to insert one or more summary tables in the universe structure. We need to set the joins and cardinality. Then again we need to detect the context. We need to apply the accept the context if there are any, and then redefine the objects using aggregate aware syntax. So means we need to apply the aggregate aware. Then last one is defining incompatible objects using aggregate navigation. So let's see one by one this how what are and the different steps. The first step is inserting summary table. So suppose this is a data foundation and we have this annual figures is one of the summary tables. So I inserted it, and we can have this joins if there are other summary tables as well. Means we can join the between them, and then we can set the cardinality and detect context as well. So this is the first, second, third steps. The fourth step is like applying aggregate awareness to objects. So this is an important step where we need to apply. So first, before applying aggregate awareness, we need to identify the levels of aggregation. So suppose there is annual, if the data is annual only, means that is a single level. But if the data is available like annual, quarterly, monthly, so then the first level is annual, second level is quarterly, and the monthly. So these are the different types of levels that we need to identify, and the syntax is aggregate aware. So in this we will see means summary of aggregate table 1, summary of aggregate table 1, like so on, and aggregate table n up to n tables we can add in the aggregate aware. So the first table will be highest level of aggregation, that means annual level we can say, and then last one will be lowest level, then we can say it's a monthly level. So this is an example. So sum of annual figures so this is an example we use, but we will use aggregate aware so that this will be used first. So annual figures is one level, and then second level is this formula which we are using, like so on. We can use, and this will make sure that it will get the annual sales value as well as this other values which are calculated there. After applying this aggregate aware, we need to apply a set aggregation navigation, which is for incompatible objects between different levels. Like we have highest level, lowest level, like that. So we need to set the incompatibility between the objects so that we can use aggregate awareness. Okay, so that's it about that aggregate awareness. We need to check for other functions. So what are other functions? The first one is add select. So it is a pointed to the select properties of another object. So add select, it is a path of existing objects. This is a syntax. So path is nothing but folder name and object name which we can use. So the advantage is we can reuse the code, maintain only one instance of the code, and ensures consistency of the code. So this is an example how we see. This is client name is one of the dimension objects which we can use. So it has this calculation made, like last name and first name is calculated here. So the same, if you want do not want to write the code again, is what we can do is for customer name. Suppose this is again other objects which I am creating for a different requirement. So for that I can just refer this select, which will have this formula. So that is the use of this add select function. Add where is again pointed to the where properties of another project object. So where we'll have this. So there is, suppose for this one of the objects there is, this is a condition, and the same condition I wanted to use for another object. Instead of writing this in this where condition, I can use this where car and model. So car is the folder or class name, and then it's a model object. Coming to the at variable, which is used in the where clause to call the value assigned to one of the following variable types. So at variable is again it directs to the variables. So there are different variables like business objects, system variables, report variables, then language variables, operating system variables. So we can just write down the at variable, and in bracket we can use different variable names like BO user, BO username, then DB DB name, universe ID, universe name. Like these are the different business objects variables that we can reference here. Then this function add execute, which is allows to reference a list of values in a SQL expression. So it is designed to improve the performance of SQL queries, especially when the list of list definition is complex. So suppose we have this LOV which is created which is having some complex query. We wanted to use this complex query in the same way means in other objects. So here is a filter which we can use, and in condition we can just say at execute and this LOV name which is LOV. Okay, so this is all about these functions. We will be seeing this practically. Let's understand our whatever we have covered. So purpose of functions, upon what are aggregates of a normalized database created, what is the purpose of add execute function, and what is the select function. So purpose of function is to providing flexible methods for specifying query script. So aggregate tables which are created based on the event or fact level table. At execute function is allowing to reference a list of values in a SQL expression, so it is used for improve performance. And at select function is pointed to the select properties of another objects. Okay, so this is all about this unit. We'll be seeing this in practically. I hope you have understood this concept. If you have any questions, then please put it in the comment section. If you like my video, then please like it and subscribe to my channel so that you will get to know about my next video. Thank you for watching.